what is the harm in unprocessing your diet? Like really, what is, when you tell people to go on an extreme way, I get that there's dangers in that, but by telling people to eat more real, natural, unprocessed foods, what possibly could be wrong with that? There's no negative to that. If you pick up an apple, there's one ingredient, right?
Apple.
Apple. If you pick up celery, one ingredient, celery.
Celery.
Seeds, nuts, eggs, they're unprocessed.
No high fructose corn syrup.
When you pick up a packaged food and there's 20 ingredients you can't pronounce, that's a highly processed food.
Polysorbate 80? That's no good?
Red number, whatever. So it's, sometimes people will get nitpicky with me and say, well, you're eating this cracker and there's 4 ingredients. Well, 4 ingredients that you can pronounce is an exact example of what I want people to look at when you talk about unprocessing your diet. So I'm not saying go all freaky and I only eat, things with 1 ingredient. I'm not, that makes people want to fail because you can't stick to that. But when I say work on unprocessing, when you're looking at, let's start with a packaged good. You're looking at 2 boxes of crackers. Can you pick the one that has 3 or 4 ingredients versus the one that has 20? If you think years ago, you could talk about paleo or whatever, what things are based on, we didn't have all these factories to put all these things into food and preservatives. And so people did eat simple and obesity was not a problem. A lot of these diseases weren't a problem then.
Yeah, like metabolic syndrome, where you get diabetes and you are overweight and high blood pressure and
all introduced. So, and you as a doctor have seen this. We've gone through all these trends of, no fat or, you've seen this as a doctor, like going through these trends of like fat-free is the way to go or, sugar-free or it's this,
Now it's really healthy. It's all about healthy fats right now.
It's about any fat, really, if it's real natural food. Like, saturated fat got a really bad rap for a number of years. Saturated fat is not the problem. It's not the problem. You eat coconut oil is great for you.
Right, because it's natural and the ingredient is coconut oil.
Yes, exactly. Having some clarified butter is not creating all issues, and I feel like it gets extreme.
The bulletproof crowd who puts a little grass-fed butter in the coffee.
Yep.
Well, there's nothing inherently wrong with the grass-fed butter, correct?
If you're doing moderation or eating real foods, that's the thing. When you eat real foods, you are much less likely to overeat because when you start eating all the processed foods with the high fructose corn syrup and all the preservatives or even artificial sweeteners are a huge problem because your body thinks it's getting those calories and it's not getting those calories. You're going to have more cravings. You're going to get the bloating. You feel terrible. You feel like this and then you grab more food. But when you eat natural real foods, that stuff tends to fade away. Because it's very rare to overeat apples or to overeat seeds. You don't overeat that stuff.
I like
when you're
sunflower seeds. Are those good?
Yeah, it's everything in moderation in unprocessed food. But if you were to just eat nothing, not saying to do this, but if you were to just go completely strict and say, I'm not eating any foods that have more than 1 ingredient, and that doesn't mean chocolate because chocolate has a lot of ingredients, but you would lose weight. It would happen because you're eating natural real foods and our bodies know to tell us when we're full. When we start tricking it with preservatives and all this artificial junk, then we don't know when we're full and we're going to keep eating more and it affects all kinds of things.